Game ideas. 1. The real world. Using Google Earth. Imagine a realistic world in which you can do everything you can do in reality if you were highly trained, but wouldn't dare, and the system responds to you like reality, and that contrast of the virtual imagined world has to be matching to practice parkour, as many cities in the world are also today. The architecture of cities is controlled by God in order to enable parkour, and that is how future cities and games will be purposefully constructed. It will also incorporate martial arts movements, the best of which I saw in Tekken 3 with the most comfortable buttons for the PS, and the character can run around inside a world and change from a parkour game to a martial arts game to a Sims game and alike. And will give you points and rewards for ISWL, actions that you have to fulfill to improve and open new skills in the mastery of the game, so that it will be an educational mind-improving tool for children to learn all about the world from their home, because all of the educational material of the future schools will be input inside the games, so it can be also a homeschool educational system for those that choose it, and we'll have to pass tests, will be given grades, to prove they are actually upgrading their knowledge of all the school-taught subjects at home with their parents and siblings. The result will be the home-taught game school education online system. Pupils will surpass the knowledge of those that learn in the old method in school, because learning through a game is much more interesting, enjoyable, and more easy to learn and deeply understand the material with the visual aid of a screen. The city structure will include financial rewards that they will use for their sim character to continue playing just like they would have to face in the real world when they grow up, to which will prepare them much better than the warnings of their parents saying you must study hard to earn money to live a good life, because as a child you really don't believe and that, if you don't care, and you are not afraid, because you believe in God's help much more than an adult, and therefore if your same character needs money, and has to go through education, and work physical jobs to earn money to pay for rent, and food, and have a girlfriend, and buy a car, and everything we do in the real world, they will be masters of it in 10 years, much more than we are in 10 years of struggling in the real world. The children of these games will be much smarter, ready for life, and much more helpful than the children of the past, because the more you know, the faster and better your brain thinks, and is able to solve much more difficult problems than the person who hasn't been through the same education as you. Therefore you will see in the game which children at what age are performing what tasks in what fields of occupation that they like the most from all the options in the game, from financial rewards, upgrades and improvements to the life of their character, and plain simple interest in any science or art or occupation in the real world, by their own natural choices in the game, in which they are not restricted in time travel distances, lack of means, and other things that make it difficult for us in the real world to choose to do anything we want from an early age if we were given all the choices right in front of us like they will have in the game. Therefore the children that will grow up with the game, either as homeschool, either when coming back from the usual school to play the game at home, you will see which children are becoming exceptionally smart and talented, and their parents will be able to navigate them as in the game sold through adult life, to the best education, work, positions, professions, and careers. If any level of knowledge will be available in the game, you will see some young people becoming professors before adulthood, and anybody will learn much better and much faster all the subjects in school, and everything they need for adult life because the game will replicate real life, maybe even a real cities. The adults that will be the teachers inside the game will have to come together and come up with the best educational explanations in audio while using computer graphics and the real-world imaging. Every few years the information and teaching methods will be upgraded and changed, relatively to the most updated ones, showing the best results as clearly as possible. So that the industry of this realistic game will be a giant project giving jobs for many people from all walks of life, and will become very acceptable, useful, and likable for all, both enjoyable and educational, because there will also be the current law system, real-life abilities, damage, results, consequences of crime, yet also an ability to repent and start again from your last checkpoint before the undesirable result, to make a child understand he would not want to repeat this mistake.
The Matrix parallels were hitting hard.
For example, he could find
Smith was morphing, but Yan was evolving.
Restricted for some
How was your journey from the real world?
To higher education and highly paid jobs,
to the
just
Matrix.
like in real life, without having to go through the process, and learning not to
holding the line against the demons. He made it back from the game to the real world elite.
By doing so, being restricted in the game just like you would in real life.
Yan
so that
isn't
when a
just a
person goes
player
outside to the real
anymore.
world and faces a similar
He's the
situation, they would
CEO
already
of
know
his own
what action or
empire
action he
now.
will cause and which one to choose to gain desirable results and not make stupid mistakes, which was prevented from the humans of the past to know in advance, and we had to learn from trial and error. That cost us many years and many pains, losses, fights, needless struggles, and maybe even irreversible life choices that we wouldn't have made if we had learned their results in game mode, not real life.